Oh man, I don't know about that. A little nauseous.
All right, we won't do that again.
All right.
I'm so in love with you. You got me down again.
We've arrived and we're pumped. We're in a city known for its vibrant downtown, open-air plazas, sidewalk dining, and a pedestrian-friendly atmosphere that's been compared to a typical European city. We're excited to see what else the Palmetto State has to offer. We've traveled back to the southeast to visit one of our friends and D&L agents and face a fear that only 1% of Americans have faced. I'm pretty nervous. I hope he's ready for the challenge. Now, in the first 2 episodes, we tackled the challenges of height and speed. In this episode, we take on both in what is sure to be one of the craziest episodes in our entire series. Where in the world is D&L? Welcome to Greenville, South Carolina. Let's pull the ripcord on this episode. So we're out in front of the Sugar Tit Distillery. Their specialty, moonshine. It's a great local business owned by Bob and Kat Jordan. They're known for their 120 proof moonshine and their delicious flavors. I've heard of one, cookies and cream, that I can't wait to try. You know I've got a sweet tooth. Let's go take a look. Bob, for those that are amateurs at this, what is moonshine?
So moonshine is typically corn whiskey, right?
Okay.
So back in the, say, 1800s, when people were farming, they were growing corn, and they couldn't make a lot of money growing the corn, but they knew they could make money making whiskey with the corn. So they'd go out at night, and they'd go up into the mountains, especially in the mountains where the streams were, and they could run a still, and they'd do it at night so they wouldn't get caught because it was illegal. And it's called moonshine. When the Europeans had a job, a second job at night, they said they were moonshining. Americans, we would say we were moonlighting.
Yep.
But they would say they were moonshining. So when they went out at night to do their second job, they were going to go moonshine, and that term stuck to the corn whiskey.
The name, Sugar Tit, is that from your brain? Where's this come from?
So we're in the little town of Reedville, South Carolina.
Yep.
But there's actually an area about 3 or 4 miles out of town that's called Sugar Tit, South Carolina. And there's several stories how it got the name. So one of the stories was when the farmers went out to bring in the crops and everyone had to go out and do the work. Even the women would bring the babies with them. And to keep the babies from fussing, they would take a piece of cloth, put some sugar cane or something sweet in it and let the baby suck on that, and that was called the Sugar Tit. The clears are 80, 100, and 120 proof. All the flavors from here to here are 80 proof, so there's apple pie, pineapple, peach, blueberry, plum raspberry, butterscotch, blackberry, and I did that without looking at the labels.
That's impressive.
Right. And this is the cookies and cream, which is 36 proof. This is our #1 seller. It's won a bronze medal from the American Distillers Institute competitions. Apple pie, bronze medal winner. Bootleg 120s won a gold and bronze medal.
I'd love to try the cookies and cream. That's good. That's real good. Wow. I was on the fence about kind of a sweet, but it's good. So we're outside of Henry's Smokehouse, known for its pulled pork and pork ribs, Carolina-style barbecue. Now, Southern Living named this restaurant one of the best barbecue restaurants in all of South Carolina. I can't wait to get my hands on a pulled pork sandwich. Let's go. Tommy, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Hey.
Thanks for having us to Greenville.
Appreciate it.
Let's grab some barbecue. Pulled pork sandwich. Let's do fries and potato salad.
Mac and cheese and a Brunswick stew.
Well, Tommy, thanks for having us to your hometown, Greenville, South Carolina. And how long you been in the trucking logistics business?
Since I was 18. Left to go to college, came home after my first year at school and went to work for Southeastern Freight Lines.
Yeah.
That part-time job at Southeastern turned into a full-time job. I was actually going to leave and go to a company called Bilo and work in their warehouse.
Yep.
And I went over there and done the interview and the process to do all that, and they put me in a freezer for about 30 minutes to stack down some pallets, and I'm thinking, man, I got to do something because this ain't working.
Yeah, isn't it? Isn't it? Right.
I go back to work the next day, and I told Ron, I said, hey man, I got to get a full-time job. I'm married, I got insurance I need, I got to get a full-time job. And he said, hold tight for a few days, and I think I can make a position for you. So they made a position for me, and I went into weight and inspection. So classification, all that through the LTL system. That's kind of where my background of the LTL comes from. I worked that position for a couple of years, and then a sales position came open, and I was fortunate enough to be able to move into that position. I worked in sales probably for about 12, 13 years in Southeastern, which really helped me in what I'm doing today. A lot of my customers today are just the customers I've done business with over the last 20 years. So I've been very fortunate in that aspect to be able to have the relationships and the friendships that I have to make us successful.
Right. That word friendship in business, I don't think it's used enough, but you're right. You develop true bonds and friendships with these folks you're working with. At some point you went from the LTL world to the, let's call it brokerage or logistics world.
Yes. I had no earthly idea what I was doing. Didn't know anything. I knew very little about the truckload industry. At the time, Southeastern had kind of started doing some brokerage truckload stuff. So I had my feet in it a little bit, but I still wasn't sure about it. So I left there and went to work for a company called Cardinal Logistics.
Yep, sure.
I spent probably 7, 8 years at Cardinal. And back last February, I decided to make the jump and go leave and go full time in the D&L and in my own agency. Yeah. And I wish, if I knew what I know now, when I made that jump to Cardinal 7 years ago, I would have made the jump straight into an agency program. Don't know where that would have landed me, but I know where I would have wanted to be, considering where I'm at now, because this is the best program there is.
You certainly have had some success. Congratulations. What do you attribute, your victories, your wins? What do you attribute that to?
When I was at Southeastern, their motto was take care of your people, and they'll take care of your customers. Yep. And I still believe in that, but I also think if you take care of your customers, they'll take care of your people. Yeah. I'm a lot like you. I'm a lot like your team. Yep. I'm accessible 24/7. Yep. My wife sometimes gets upset with that.
But that can be challenging.
Yeah, but I think with where we were at last year in Arizona, she told several people, she said, now I understand why he works 24/7.
Right.
It's not because I want to, it's because people need me. And if people need me, I'm going to take care of them.
And you personally have raised 2 great kids with your wife. That can be a tough balance, a demanding job like you have in the agency world. Balancing that with building a family. How have you done that?
Moving into the agency model that we're in, I feel like I have more freedom, less stress than I did working for somebody. Especially the way a lot of the brokerage models are. You got to make 100 phone calls a day, you got to do all these things. I feel like it's taken a lot of that stress and giving me a lot of freedom. As long as I can make a phone call for one of my customer service people to do what I need to do, I mean, the stress level is not there to what it was 5, 6, 7, even 10 years ago.
And your daughter's in the business.
Yes.
And that's got to be rewarding.
Yep, she helps me pretty much on a daily basis. And we've got her, we've actually got 9 people total on payroll. I've been very successful with some of the people I've got around me. I got another gentleman named Barry Price who works out of Florida. Barry worked with me at Southeastern. Before he retired, he had a feel for what I was doing,
Right.
but he had a non-compete. And after his non-compete expired, he called me. He goes, "Man, I'm interested in what you're doing.
Yeah.
What are you doing?" And I talked to him a little bit, and he said, "Man, I got 2 or 3 accounts that I can bring on right now." So he came on board. He's done very well. And then we've got 2 customer service people, and well, 3 customer service people for the most part to help us.
I guess, did you ever envision you'd be where you are right now? And what's the secret to building out a multi-employee office?
One of the things that I do with most of my employees is I try not to micromanage. They all know what their job duties are. I'm a terrible person at delegating.
Yep.
I'll be honest with you.
too.
I like to keep my hands in it, but I'm learning to step back from that and try to let those people do what they need to do. But I would just say, just treating those people with respect, giving them the space they need to work,
Yep.
and let them do what they do. And they've all got their own different perspective to what they bring to the table.
Right.
You know, and I just try to acknowledge that and try to let them grow and do what they can do.
And I think that's important. We tell our folks all the time, look, we hired you for a reason because we think you're special. Now go do that. We're going to let you do it. So I think that's really important. Well, this was a delicious lunch here at Henry's. Let's head downtown, see what trouble we can get into down there.
Sounds good.
All right. So we've seen some very peculiar things in our travels across this great country. But we're in Greenville, South Carolina, and one of the more unique experiences is taking place down here in Greenville. It's a mouse scavenger hunt. Yes, you heard me correct, a mouse scavenger hunt. It combines Greenville's love of the arts with a little bit of fun. So let's go see if we can find any of these things. Your own words, you mentioned your former career with Southeastern. Now, one aspect of the brokerage business that I think is so often overlooked is relationships and treatment of the motor carriers and the drivers. Do you think that your experience with Southeastern gave you a different perspective, a unique perspective on that?
Absolutely. This is one thing that I even tell my people now. If the carriers do the money, they're going to get paid the money.
Yep.
Well, if I lose money on the load, they're going to get paid. I actually helped a buddy of mine about a year or 2 ago. He's actually out of Missouri. He asked me to help him dispatch his truck a little bit. And Brian, I would get so frustrated when I would call the broker, and the broker would be like, "Hey, I need 3 hours detention." Well, I need to get with my customer,
Right.
and I'll see if I can pay you. You know, my whole argument back to them was, I didn't book it with your customer.
Right.
I booked the load with you.
Yep.
We did our part. You owe me 2 hours detention. And a lot of those guys they'll postpone it, make you wait 2 or 3 weeks. Well, I know what they're doing.
Right.
They're stalling.
Right.
They're hoping you'll forget about it, you'll turn your paperwork in, you'll move on about your business. I never did. I
Yeah.
kept hanging on.
Yeah. Hey.
Because we were due that money.
Right.
So yes, at the end of the day, I tell every one of my people, we're going to take care of the carrier.
Yeah.
Especially if they've done everything right, their attitude's right, we're going to treat them with respect. We want them to treat us with respect, and we're going to pay them what they're due if they perform the service.
And I love that approach. Do you think that is a factor in your success?
Yes, I think it is. I have a ton of drivers that we deal with on a daily basis that I pick up the phone and, whatever you need me to do, I'm going to do it for you.
Yep.
You know, do you mind going over here and making this extra stop? I don't even have to send them paperwork. I'm going to take care of you because you take care of me.
That's great to hear. That's great to hear. Now, I've heard that we're looking for some mice. I haven't seen any yet, but I'm on the hunt. Well, let's see what we can find. Like, are they under stuff? I don't know who this guy is, but Tommy, any successful business owner like yourself has encountered challenges, overcome challenges. Are there any that you can think of that spark your memory of challenges that you've overcome in building your business?
Oh man, probably just the word no.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, whether it be no from customers, no from drivers, that's probably the hardest challenge we face in this industry. It's so saturated with a lot of other companies that do what we do, and kind of goes back on what we talked about earlier. It's just about building relationships, friendships, and taking care of your customers.
Yeah.
So they'll help take care of your business and your people.
So if I came to you and said, I keep getting no every day, every hour, how do you attack that?
Man, just really just, you got to keep trying. I mean, you can't take it when you got to find a more strategic way to get in. You got to help try to find a solution. You know, you got to solve a problem. And unfortunately, in this business, customers, they have to have a need.
Right.
You know, once they have that need, if you can just get your foot in the door and get that one thing over with them and take care of them, they'll keep coming back. I've got a customer right now that has been a long-time customer of mine. I've tried to call on him several times. I just happened to run into him at Walmart. And we kind of had a conversation, and he said, reach out to me next week. And I just kind of let it go. I waited about a week and a half, 2 weeks. I didn't want to look too anxious,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, exactly.
to follow up with him.
Right.
So I reached out to him, and I think we're on our 3rd or 4th shipment right now.
Oh, great.
And it's taken me 2 years to really even get into it. We're doing some hazmat with him, so there's a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah.
But it's just being persistent,
Right.
and just waiting on the right time.
So Tommy, thanks for showing us your great town, Greenville, South Carolina. 3 blind mice is enough for me. I am pumped for our challenge tomorrow morning, so I'll see you bright and early.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Look
buddy.
forward to it.
So we are here at Skydive, Carolina. The name says it all, we're here to skydive. That's the challenge we're taking on today. Now, I'm terrified, Tommy. What about you?
A little bit, but not completely. This is my 4th attempt to do this, so it's kind of always been on my bucket list. A little bit about my attempts. We came up here the first time, and the day before, we didn't realize that somebody had passed away. Did a solo jump, landed in the wrong area. Second time we came up, or was going to come up, it got canceled due to weather.
Yep.
And then the 3rd time, you and I had a previous trip planned, and you had to cancel due to some reasons. So here we are, our 4th time. Look forward to making it happen.
I'm excited to tackle this. It's a fear of mine, and I know that we're excited to be out here today. It's a beautiful morning, so let's go take a look.
So in like banana position and with the 2 feet like that.
From the jump to the ground, how long?
Let's say 8 minutes.
8 minutes?
Yeah. I mean,
it's like 30
no,
seconds.
No, it's 1 minute of free fall,
Okay.
and then under canopy is like 5 to 6
Okay,
minutes.
okay,
You know,
okay.
the experience is amazing.
I might just have to have them push me out.
So if you'd have asked me a year ago if I would ever skydive, I would say heck no. But I'm here today at Skydive, Carolina. Gotta be honest, I'm a little nervous, but once you're in the air, what do you do? So I just gotta get out of that plane and go. So I can't wait to get up in the air.
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous. I think the instructor inside calmed my nerves down a little bit. Looks like we'll be up in the air and back on the ground about 8 minutes. Said we'd free fall for about a minute and then open up the parachute. So look forward to getting on the ground. Mine's shaking a little bit.
Brian!
Yeah, baby.
You just jumped out of an airplane!
Oh boy.
Anything to say to the people on the ground?
I'm coming, baby. Oh man. I don't know about that. How do I stop it?
All right, hang on.
A little nauseous.
All right, we won't do that again.
All right. I got nothing yet. I'm excited to get down, but that was a blast.
Smile, smile! Yeah, bro!
Yeah, baby!
Yeah, man!
That's probably as nervous scared as I've been in years since I was a kid.
But
But once we were in the air, it was a blast.
It was perfect, right?
Beautiful.
Free fall was probably the best part of it for me. Once the parachute come out, we got a little queasy, but we made it to the ground.
Honestly, it was a little scarier than I thought it was going to be. But once you get to that door and you can see everything out in front of you, all you can do is jump. Whew, what a trip to South Carolina. We got to try some moonshine, hung out in the beautiful downtown of Greenville, and most importantly, we got to conquer a fear of heights by jumping out of an airplane with Tommy Lanning. Tommy, thanks so much for joining us. Very proud of you. We'll see you next time on Where in the World is D&L?